Prophet Theophilus Akatugba.
I need some of your predictions for football games.
That is how the prophets rise. When they have one coincidental success prediction, they now rise on.
And everybody starts following them.
Is
Arsenal going to win next week? I need to place 1 or 2.
Your own football betting, I've led many prophets to fail. It's the most risky area.
The World Cup. So many. The World Cup are going to. No. Anyway, let's go straight to the papers. Our first paper this morning would be, okay, let's see if we could put it up very quickly. Let's put the papers up. There you go. We'll be looking at the Nigerian Tribune. Nigeria in deficit of 300,000 doctors, according to the federal government. It marks over 110 billion naira to revamp 18 universities, medical schools. Kwara needs over 100 doctors, hospital management board. I told Atiku about my exit from PDP. He's leaving too, Okowa says. Let's start with that very quickly.
Well, that's not a surprise. Sometimes I feel Atiku has a vendetta against the PDP that dates back to the days of Obasanjo and how he was disgraced at the primary. And I believe he has also set his heart at destroying that party. And he's been doing that very well.
How?
Yes, you see, Atiku looked like a man who's very angry and very bitter. Not bitter against that institution for what they did to him. He was vice president, and he wanted to succeed Obasanjo. And Obasanjo mockingly defeated him at the primary. Then he moved out of the party. From the party, went to other parties, returned to the same party, and since that time, his return to the party has never meant well for PDP. You know what is painful?
But he got the presidential ticket last time.
No, that, you see, he buys it. PDP is weak. PDP is not strategic. Has always been weak. It's a party that was formed into power. It was not formed as a political party. It was a vehicle to hold power for the military and kept it and did it well for the military. All the years, everything the PDP did is to promote the agenda of the military cabals who hold Nigerian political structure. And that has collapsed because as soon as they lost power, there couldn't be any cohesion. And anyone that had the money became their leader. That was not political party. That was just, that is not a political party. So when they lost the election to Buhari, I knew their end had started. My first statement then was that I told my friends, I said, PDP has just died, and we are just going to attend a very long funeral. And that funeral is on. And it's getting to a conclusive. It's painful to have people disenchanted with government and thinking that there could be an alternative.
All right.
And that alternative evaporates in their face. Supporters, sentiment, those who have positive sentiment for PDP are heartbroken.
All right.
This development.
We'll come back to talk some more about the PDP, what the recent defections mean for the party at the state level as well as at the federal level after we come back from this break. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're still reviewing the papers and you get a chance to call in. If you'd like to drop your thoughts, questions, comments, contributions, the numbers to call are on your TV screen. Please call in before we wrap up the segment. We're still speaking with our public affairs analyst, Theophilus Akatugba. And before we went on the break, we were talking about the structure of the PDP, the recent defection. So what do you think the implication of this? Let's go now to Delta State. Governor Sheriff Oborevwori, former Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, and a number of the PDP structure in Delta State has moved to the APC.
You know, what Oborevwori did is to reply the PDP very emphatically about the state of his disappointment. They have been internally finding ways to make the party come into the game with cohesion and readiness for the election. Seeing that the things, they don't want to be left like, you know, the water has dried up and the fishes, so they knew what was coming. And Okowa, you know, Okowa is very strategic. He saw that Atiku is going towards another party because PDP is not in the mood to give it to him. So that showed to him that, look, we'll be left alone in Delta. And they've seen the handwriting around. And they've also seen the northern rebellion against or opposition to Tinubu's reforms. And these are the core reforms that we have been agitating for that are happening. So they needed to move so that they don't get played out, apart from the fact that Oborevwori is also having, you know, a suspicion that Chief James Ibori's team by moving to the APC, you know, earlier in order to checkmate him with, you know, Adewia who's, is it Adewia who's a potential candidate of that APC in the future. And that's the man that contested him heavily at the primary. So with the Bori mercenary contesting with Okowa, it could be a very deadly political battle in the Delta.
So what would this now mean?
What it means is that PDP Delta is just collapsed into one political family.
Right.
Both the opposition and everything. So there's going to just
still be friction with the different camps?
There will be friction within in terms of shuffling offices. That's the only friction. But in terms of facing the electorate, it's just going to be a great party for the same people who have competed against.
So it's much like a duplicity of what we have in Lagos.
Well, that is if Deltans can rise to create another opposition. You have the Labour Party that have attracted attention. So if that can rise, you see, one party system cannot work in Nigeria because Nigerians are naturally disagreeable people. And so very soon some people will break out. And so we will have a very big party and many small parties. So that's not a one party, but they appear to be. In the Delta, for example, what we are going to see is going to have a very smooth political experience in 2027. They have all moved into one family. They want to work for one man. And you don't have any credible, apart from the Labour Party, if they are able to put up something.
So you think that now that Governor Sheriff has moved to the APC, is his guarantee for 2027 secure?
It's done. It's a done deal. That's the deal. That's the reason it's there. You know, a David will come in, and I suspect he will work with him, and they will prep him up for the next.
But what if the people think otherwise? Because sometimes when we say it's a done deal,
no,
I mean, let me sound
let me just sitting here in Wemco Road and
I'm saying about a done deal being a candidate of the party.
Okay, not done deal that he's won.
No, I didn't say he's won the election.
To get the
ticket of the party.
Okay,
it's a done deal.
Okay,
that's fine.
Then if Alhaji Atiku Abubakar now moves, like you say, he will move, and
what parties are left?
Exactly, what party is he moving to?
SDP.
I can't predict, but I see his movement with what's the name?
Labour Party.
Labour Party. No, that's El-Rufai. I can't
El-Rufai,
see. They are putting forward SDP, but they could spring a surprise.
So why do you think Alhaji Atiku?
And you know they have Adewale to contend with, who is very, very, very clear and is very repetitive. He has agenda. He has an alternative to what's being done. His voice is growing. People have not been taking him seriously, but I have been monitoring, and I can see it's not somebody you can push out.
There's no pushover.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in the SDP the chairman also spoke this morning as well. He was
the
SDP chairman saying he doesn't like the fact that politicians are jumping up and down. There is a repetition of what PDP had done in the earlier years, and he's not really appreciating it. So it seems like they're trying to protect their own party. But we don't know for how long.
They need to, because they have been a very strategic party. You know, they've helped to resolve some political difficulties. Is it in Osun State some time ago? And they were a minority. They were number 3, and they formed a coalition to bring up the government. So that party, SDP, appeared to me to have been even more strategic than the PDP. I have a lot of grasp with the PDP. I have never seen any party that has no strategy, that has no vision, that is only led by capacity to mobilize financially. You know, once money is there, the PDP big wigs are around the area. And they don't think about 10 years. Look at the last election. The mood of the nation is telling you that Buhari has ruled 8 years, 2 terms.
For the North.
For the North. And you were saying that your zoning formula was only about your party, irrespective of the big exam, the big contest. How would you come to the big contest with a 40 candidate, with a candidate that the nation, in his orientation, does not accept? And PDP people were explaining it to Nigerians, telling Nigerians that there's nothing wrong. It was a grand
Mr. Akatugba,
mistake.
I'm happy you've mentioned Alhaji Atiku. I mean, he's been in the political scene since the 1990s, and it seems it's almost becoming like an obsession of wanting to be president of Nigeria. What do you think is driving this ambition? Former President Buhari did it 4 times, and he succeeded. So that might also be an encouragement. Yes, 4 times a charm.
I'm very impressed with his repetitive exercises. I call it political exercise, not...
It's not getting any younger.
No, it's just, the man is on retirement. He's enjoying his life. Atiku has nothing else to live for than to exercise himself in these things. He enjoys it. That is what he loves to do. But he's not really interested in becoming president to build Nigeria, to to retaliate because he is very angry. He's angry with the PDP and majority of people with the PDP. And now Wike has built more people for him to dislike.
So this exercise that he keeps doing
yeah.
and he hasn't succeeded at, do you think in 2027, if he gets a ticket of any party, would he win, or perhaps it will end up as an exercise
in futility?
again
Because the biggest platform that he could use has just been damaged by this move that happened in Delta. What happened in Delta is a statement to Atiku, not anybody else. Telling the PDP that why are you floating and flirting with this same man who's never done us good?
And do you think they can stop the wave of defections? I mean, the big story on the Punch says Hurricane Tinubu, PDP, NWC governors meet next week to avert defections.
Yeah, let's take a look at
The meeting is actually for all of them to determine which path they want to go. Because I don't see them surviving. You know why? Because their soul has been ripped off. PDP is one of their major financial backbone. And the party where they've held sway unbroken.
Since 1990.
Yes, what happened to them was a shocker to me. I couldn't believe it. I've never seen anything like that since we started this political dispensations in 1990, where not only that governor and a few deputies saying I'm not going with you, they did not just, they went with everybody. Even right now, those who are opposed can't even speak.
Yeah.
But looking at the Southwest, because we've seen the South-South and Southeast, they're flirting with the APC. I mean, Governor Eno had already endorsed, I mean, it's PDP, but he has endorsed Mr. President for 2027. What happens to an Adeleke? And we know that Mr. Makinde is on his final term. What happens to the lone PDP man in the Southwest?
Well, there has been talk that don't go, stay here. He will be the last to go, and he might not go. He will go only when that party is obviously broken. In a few days after this, that court case shows how weak and how unable they were able to, to rally around their people. When issue of Natasha came, and I saw Atiku's position, and I didn't see his legislators follow him, not even one or two. Then I knew that the PDP is a party of men speaking about the party, yet they don't have the cohesion. There have been issues of so many national issues that Atiku will promote his idea, and then he will not have the party with him. You will see Bode Johnson saying good things that will happen. Then you will notice that he's only saying it from his room, not that he has the opinion of everybody. Because what we see is always different from what they are saying about their party.
Insular.
Yes. So I noticed that all this will implode, explode, and we will see, because what happened to them up till now, they went to court. It's ridiculous. Okay, who in the Delta will be on your side in the court case?
Okay, so are you seeing a replication of what has happened in Delta State at a federal level?
Well, federal level, the federal level in terms of having other political parties.
Yeah, so in terms of more people from the People's Democratic Party moving over to the APC?
The movement that you will see from the southern politician is an endorsement of the reform that they have all long sought for. They are seeing in Tinubu that determination to make some changes. They have they've seen things in the National Assembly. They've getting the fact that the state police, all these big issues. No matter how good you are as a person, if you rule Nigeria under the current military structure, which is a superimposition of a very powerful center that controls the entire structure, even to local government. If you don't free this country from it, the best intentioned president will only be good on paper, but will not affect this country.
So you talk, is that why the autonomy and all that?
Those things,
local
because
government?
the North knows that if those things succeed, their advantage in Nigeria has been diminished. And that is the struggle. That's why you see, man like Udume crying. Udume knows what is going on. But there are a lot of northern leaders that are well-meaning, that believe that the country must work mutually beneficial. There are. But in politics, you've got to look for those ones if you want to cause any reform. State police, for example, is it not ridiculous that after many years, who's Boko Haram? We can't crack it. Because there's something just wrong within the structure. That's why you see politicians telling you that this country may never be good. So they invest outward. They put their hope outside. Because within the polity, they are not seeing the hope, because they know that structurally we have challenges. And if those structures are not changed, that's why